I'm Kylie, a former travel NICU nurse of 7 years, and normally I share travel and nursing tips, but today I am raising a red flag and sharing my experience with one of the worst travel nurse companies in the world, I would say. If you're considering working with a company that is two words and the first word starts with an A and the second word starts with an M, this is what you need to know. So my first time working with this company was in 2017 when I was still a brand new nurse, brand new travel nurse. I'd only taken 2 assignments previously, and one assignment was just an extension. So keep that in mind because I did not know much about the industry. And of course, I missed many red flags before my assignment even started. So, something that this company does that is a little bit unique is that they won't pay you your full housing and travel stipends on your first week if your work week starts on like a Tuesday versus a Monday. So, say you go to the hospital and your first day of orientation is Tuesday, but you still get your full like 36 to 40 hours in, they still will not pay out your travel stipend and your housing stipend for Sunday and Monday because you didn't work the full week. Of course, I did not know to ask about this or negotiate this in my contract, so I was just kind of SOL because I didn't know how to advocate for myself at this point. I did share about this online, and I received so many nurses that have had the same or similar experiences. Plus, this isn't a common practice in travel nursing, so I don't think that people know to be aware of this or to look out for this like in your contract. Also, at the time, they didn't even put this in my contract, which was like my main argument to them. And even though it wasn't in the contract, they still pushed back so much. Like, if I did not keep going, I would have never been paid out and compensated for my work week. This is something they implemented after I had already worked with them, but something that you really need to be aware of. So, they will not pay out your stipends if you go out of town for the week, even if you even if you've worked 3 shifts that week. So say you work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and you literally just want to go visit a friend for 2 days and you leave Friday, Saturday. And then you come home and you work the next week. They will not pay you the stipends for that week because they said that you were out of town. And why would you get paid when you're on vacation? Bananas. Another big problem that I had was that my recruiter and the company would fail to respond to urgent needs. I had days when I couldn't reach anybody about my paycheck being late. More on more than one occasion, my paycheck arrived like 2 weeks late. Not to mention, my recruiter completely took advantage of me being new and she took such a high margin. I was already barely scraping by as it was. I was working in Santa Barbara, California, and only making $1,600 a week, which is like nothing. If you've worked in Santa Barbara, I would love to know how much you may have made because I guarantee it's way over 1,600. But granted, also this was 2017, so something to keep in mind. There are so many things that this company did to screw myself and other travel nurses. I wrote a blog post about it, and somebody from the company called me and tried to convince me to take it down, which I didn't, so it's still there. Um, this video doesn't even scratch the surface of the nightmare that is this company, but it's a start, I guess. I would never recommend anybody work with this company, but I also understand that sometimes like you just have to. They unfortunately control a lot of the California market, so I do understand if you need to use them. And if you do need to use them, here is what I would look out for. Vague stipend language, missing or delayed pay and reimbursements, look for your guaranteed hours, try not to work with a recruiter that will vanish mid-assignment, although I know this is common with this company. And just a reminder that your protection starts with your contract. Review every reimbursement, housing clause, and termination cost long before you agree to work with this company. And again, while I don't support this company, I understand that you might need to work with them even if they aren't your first choice. I don't want your first assignment to be my horror story. So if you've had a rough experience or even a good one, tell me in the comments and share this video to protect other nurses. And make sure to subscribe for more real talk about travel and nursing.